All right. Hello. Let's talk about where Black women can go in the world if these white people lose their minds again, right? If they have another experience, if we have to live through another experience of what we lived through with the last election, maybe, maybe you would want to instead remove yourself, give yourself a little reprieve, a little respite from the United States of America. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay? You got we have access to other countries, other locations. Maybe just maybe this would be a reasonable time to use that, right? To access that access. The words respite and reprieve exist for a reason because you don't have to continue to be in a state that is harmful to you. You don't have to stay in that situation, right? Pick up your feet, move your feet to another place. So let's talk about some other places. Let's talk about some places Black women inside of this community are already or are considering, so that we can have peace of mind, so that we can have some um, so things can be a little chill and tranquil for us instead of always having to be vigilant and on alert where you live, instead of always having to look over your shoulder and be cautious. Maybe we can talk today about some places where you don't have to live like that. Whether it's for a few weeks, a few months, a few decades, let's talk about places where you can go and get some respite. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit, and I help Black women take career breaks and sabbaticals. I help Black women move abroad. I help Black women bop around the world as a nomad. If you're interested, subscribe to the channel. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll wait for you to do that. Hit the button. Thank you. Okay. Also, turn on notifications, ring the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post a new video or go when I go live with my friends. Hi, friends. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Blue Butterflies. Good morning, Naima. Good morning, Loretta. Good morning, Radiant Renewal. Good morning, Nora Pia and Monique. Arlene. Yes, my thumbnail is Curacao. Curaçao's on the list. Good morning, Kemi and Katrina and facepalm emoji. Hey, 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 hey. All right, good morning, Michelle. DMV0202, Jewel on Demand, Chanel. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Vic and Tanya and Tracy. Good morning. Good morning, friends. So the rule here is that you say good morning. Okay, you have to say hello. If you're in watching live in the chat, you have to say good morning in the chat or good afternoon if it's not morning for you because you're in Portugal, right? You have to say hello in the chat. If you're watching the replay, hello, friends in the future. I hope it's awesome there. You have to say hi. Okay, say hello in the comments. All right, you can see that I'm back in exotic Dover, Delaware with my parents. I'm only here through this week coming up. I don't care for the way I look today. I've got acne. I just started getting acne at 50. I went for 49 years of my life without acne. Now I'm getting acne at 50, and I got this zit right in the middle of my face. Also, I rushed through my eyebrows, and I don't care for that. I rushed through putting my eyebrows on. So I'm just gonna and I can't plug in the light that makes me look extra good. So I'm just gonna have to get over it, right? Gonna have to get over all of that. But I'm here in Delaware. Angela Rochelle says, went there with the thumbnail. Oh, I went there. Oh, I thought you were talking about Curacao. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, I want to make sure that the people who want to find this video can find this video. That's the thing about YouTube, right? It's not a place to mince words. It's a place to say what you have to say. If people get, there are Black people who sometimes show up on my channel who are like, you're encouraging people to abandon their country. You're encouraging people to abandon their people. I'm like, what do you mean by their country? I am not a person who feels, and I'm a veteran. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I am not a person today at 50. I'm not a person who feels like this is the place that I'd want to lay down my life for. This is not a country that I want to defend to the death. In fact, it's a country that I want to get up out, and I want to make sure more Black women get up out of. We weren't brought here. We did not come here like a lot of migrants and immigrants. We didn't come here for a new life. We were brought here. My people, most of my people were brought here, not of their choice, and were kept here, not of their choice. I think staying here and acting like I have no choice, I think they would be like, girl, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Do you know how badly we wish we could have? Do you know how much we wish we could have gotten up out of here? I don't understand. To me, I think I hear Stockholm syndrome when I hear Black people say, but we built this country, but this is our country. You sound to me like a person who is identifying with your terror, right? The thing that has brought you so much terror in your life. You have decided that it's safer to be on that side than it is to fight for your freedom. And I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that. If you came here, if you saw the title of this video and you saw the thumbnail and you came here specifically to say that, go ahead and say it. It'll make you feel better. Say it, and then you're welcome to go. You don't need to stick around for this video. This video is for people who are like, I value peace, peace of mind, safety and security over struggle. And so I'm going to put myself and my family in a situation where we can experience some peace of mind, a little more security, and a whole lot less struggle. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? We're going to talk about some places where we can go to give ourselves respite, give ourselves a reprieve from what we know is going to happen here. No matter who wins, Black women are going to want to take a break because somebody gonna act a fool. All right, so let's talk today about places that we can go to take a break. Oh, thank you. So full of compliments. That's what I need to do more. Tell you my insecurities so you can boost me up a little bit. Because I'm like, girl, I never really had an acne problem. Once I used a product, once I bought a product that broke me out on my forehead in my 20s. But I never really had an acne problem. Now here I am 50, zits right between my eyes. I'm over that. I'm Wake says this country has abandoned us. I understand what you're saying. I don't think we were ever part of the plan, so I can't say that we were abandoned. But I guess, do you need to have been included first to be abandoned? Maybe, or maybe not. Yes. Okay, so yes, we've been abandoned. Yeah, I don't understand. I really, sincerely, this is not me pretending. Sometimes I pretend to say I don't understand things because I just don't want to talk about it. But I sincerely don't understand the argument of we built this country, we should stay here and fight for it. Because we didn't build it by choice. And even if you did build something by choice, you can walk away from it. Men walk away from their families all the time. Okay. So it's clearly possible to build something and still walk away from it. But this is not a thing that we chose. It's not a place that we chose to be. It's never a place that was going to ever include us, right? We weren't included in the founding documents as human people. And so I really sincerely don't understand the argument of we have to stay. You don't have to stay. Thank you, Dee. I love compliments. Thank you. My throat's a little sore. Excuse me. This was challenge week, YouTube Success Challenge week. I do a whole lot of talking this week. But we're going to make it through this video. Yeah, so I put on a red lip to distract from the other things that I don't like. Just look down here. Don't look up here. All right. So let's see. I want to say some things. Okay, let's get to the first country. So Curacao is on the thumbnail. Curacao is a place that I think you would enjoy spending the winter. Curacao is a Caribbean island that is a little less expensive than a lot of the rest of the Caribbean. If Turks and Caicos is here and the Dominican Republic is here on price, Turks and Caicos, DR, Curacao is here probably around the middle without that DR BS, right? Without the DR anti-blackness and colorism and racism, right? It's a little, it's a place where you're not going to experience, I don't think you're going to experience racism, anti-blackness. I don't think you're going to experience that in Curacao. It's a black place in the Caribbean, but it's not priced like the Turks and Caicos or like what else is expensive in the Caribbean, the other places. I recommend it to you. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's a place where I would want to live because I need more conveniences. I need my food and groceries delivered. I need more stuff. I need shopping. I need some decent shopping or access to decent shopping. I don't think I would recommend Curacao to live to people who aren't into island life, right? But you don't have to be into island life to really enjoy spending the winter in Curacao. So if what you want to do is get a little reprieve, a little respite, Curacao number one on the list. Hold on just a second. Hold on. I'm about to mute myself. Okay, pardon me. Whew, throat hurt. Okay. All right. Okay, Curacao is number one on the list. Curacao is a small island, Dutch island is it still, yeah, Dutch island where they speak several different languages, but you can get by on with English if need be. Down there, it's down there, way, way down, close to Venezuela, right? Down near Aruba and Bonaire, but it's just adorable. The old town is adorable. The beach where the cruise ships come in is fine. It's just a beach. But if you can get into a car and get up to those beaches farther up north, either northwest or northeast, you're going to enjoy the beaches in Curacao. It's a really, really nice place. I would recommend spending the winter there as a woman who spent the winter there. In 2022, maybe 2022, 2023, maybe that winter, I think. I was in Curacao. I recommend it as a nice place to get a little reprieve, a little respite, a little time away, weeks and weeks. Okay. But I want to talk about what is this video about? I'm sorry. Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. I may have to rush through this. Okay. The title of this video that I put on the thumbnail is Where to Go When These People Act a Fool, or Where Can Black Women Go When These People Act a Fool? Where? Okay. I'm going to break that down. Where in the world? Okay. Because the world is opened up to us, to most of us. Where in the world? To go requires action, okay? So this video, that supposes that this video is for people who want to take some action, right? And not sit back and complain about us leaving, but instead want to take some action. Where to go requires action. For Black women, pretty self-explanatory. When is kind of like a declarative statement. I am assuming that people will act a fool, white people in the United States will act a fool, but it is an assumption based on previous activity, not based on guessing. The easiest way to know what somebody is going to do, the clearest indicator of what someone will do is what someone has done in the past. I was 5 minutes late starting this video today, but nobody freaked out and texted me and called me and said, "You're late, what's happening, are you okay?" Because I have been late quite a bit on this channel. I'm more often late than not. And it's pretty clear to most of you that I'm gonna be a couple minutes late. Just wait, just chill. Maybe some of you even come late. Some of you come chat with each other in the comments before. Clearest indication of what someone is going to do is what they've already done. We've seen what people have already done. Win or lose, we've seen what people have, these white people in the United States have already done. So I think saying when is, I feel fine saying when they act a fool instead of if they act a fool. These white people are different from those white people. So today we may name a few countries that are predominantly white people countries, but there are different white people as you go around the world. American white people, South African white people, Australian white people, they're terrible people. They're terrible people. But you run into different kinds of white people as you go places. When you go places that also have a lot of American white people, you may not like it as much as going someplace where American white people don't go that often. That's why Curaçao is number one on the list. That's why Curaçao is on the thumbnail, because American white people don't know about it. Okay? American white people, they know the Bahamas. They don't know Curaçao. This is a place where you can go and not run into white American people. Now, you're going to run into Dutch white people because it's a Dutch island. Dutch residents also have easy entry into Curaçao, Bonaire, Aruba. I think there, I think there's no, I think it's just like they're a resident of those countries because they're a resident of the Netherlands. I think that's how it works. So you're going to see white people, but you're going to see a different type of white person. You're going to see a white person that did not, whose family did not come up, have a real come up off the back of the transatlantic slave trade and off of farming and agriculture, which was fueled by enslaved people. There is a different mentality, a different personality that American white people have, a different amount of entitlement, a different amount of treating Black people as subhuman that you're not going to find everywhere else. You can find it other places, but you're not going to find it everywhere else. And so you're going to run into white people in Curacao, but you're not going to care. I don't think. I don't think. All right, so that's who I mean when I talk about these white people. I'm talking about American white people because they really are terrible people, right? They've gained the world at the expense of their souls. Lost, they've given up, they've sold their souls in the name of colonization, as have Australian white people, as have South African white people. And generation after generation, it's been bred into them it's bred into them to be bad people, to be soulless people. And that's why we're going to spend some time away from them. Okay? That's why we're spending some time away from them. Okay? So, and then, okay, so I was breaking down the title. Where to go when these white people act a fool. Okay? So act a fool is less, me saying act a fool in this title makes it seem less serious than the situation is, but for somebody the situation is dire, right? For somebody the situation is urgent. Somebody is going to come into contact with a person after the election or after the inauguration. Someone is going to come into contact with a white person, and that situation, that interaction is going to be the end of them, right? There is a white right white people who act a fool don't just hurt themselves. They hurt other people. They kill other people. They end the lives of people. So saying act a fool is not fully stating the urgency, the seriousness of the situation. But for somebody, it's a serious situation. Okay, so I know maybe I say things funny, right? I think I'm hilarious, but this is a serious situation for somebody. I'm not saying it's serious for me. I'm not saying it's serious for you, but it is serious for somebody. And so we're going to talk. We're going to give some options out. And then, of course, I ended the title with again, because as I've said, this is nothing new. And I don't understand why people show up here in the comments and on other people's comments acting as if we're making things up. Like, girl, turn on the TV. Turn on the TV. What world do you live in that this isn't a real consideration for you and your family right now? I think people are not, I think they're not oblivious to the situation, but there are people who have chosen to live in denial. Denial is a perfectly acceptable escape method, right? And there are people who have chosen to live in denial. But you can't then expect other people to be in denial, right? If you've chosen to deny that things are what they are, that's your choice. But you can't expect that other people also are like, oh, I'm going to be in denial too. And then you can't show up here and be like, please deny. Let's go. Let's all do denial. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I have an amazing life outside of the United States, and I don't even have a real place to live yet. I just be house sitting and getting Airbnbs. But my life is really amazing. It is stress. It does a lot of the US stressors just fall off. They don't just melt away, they fall off immediately, right? Because I don't have to deal with the same people that y'all have to deal with inside of the United States. A lot of the women in this chat know that feeling. And we don't deserve it any more than you do. So that's why we're talking this talk today. All right. Okay. Cayman Islands. I think we're saying Cayman Islands is another expensive island on the island list. Clarice, who is Mocha Moiselle, who, listen, she is Mocha Moiselle on the internet. Forget that I said her government name. Okay. Mocha Moiselle is from the US. She's from down south, and she has a new apartment in Jamaica. And she just made a video about her new apartment in Jamaica. I've linked to that in the chat, and I'll link to that in the description after we're done. If you want to see her Jamaica apartment, 2 bedroom, good size, new kitchen, beautiful view. She's not up in the mountains, but she's a little bit up the mountains, so she has a nice view. If you want to see that, that's a video. You can go and watch that now if you're interested. And then Maya. Maya is doing a video on her channel about Curacao soon. She spent, I think, more time in Curacao than me. Maya, who was a speaker at Exodus Summit 2024, talking about move abroad, avoiding move abroad fails. She has a video coming on her channel about Curacao. Yeah, Clarice's apartment looks. I was like, girl, get my room ready, okay? Get my room ready. Clarice's home is beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know if she said how much she paid for it. If you're here, her name is Mocha Moiselle. First of all, her name is Mocha Moiselle on the internet. And if I don't remember her saying what she paid for it. If you happen to be here this morning, can you tell us if you're sharing how much you paid for that place? Do you want to share it in the chat? If not, go watch the video. I watched it, but I don't remember I don't remember her saying a dollar figure. So, beautiful home, beautiful place in Jamaica. So the Caribbean in general is a place where you can go and give yourself a nice reprieve for the winter, right? If you want to be away, let all this stuff pass by you. I recommend the Caribbean. I recommend Curacao just because I've spent a couple of months in Curacao and I liked it fine, right? But it's not the only place in the Caribbean. I would probably avoid the most popular US places. So if I was going to Jamaica, I would avoid the places where you know there's going to be a lot of white American tourists. I would get away from those places. If I was going to the Bahamas or US Virgin Islands, right, I would just get to a part of the island to be away from American tourists, from the white American tourists, right? You don't have to avoid the whole country. But I would avoid them, right? I would avoid them because they take their stuff with them. They take their attitudes and stuff with them. They're not going to be able to take their weapons with them. So physically, you'll be safer, right? They can't take their guns and their bullets with them. Physically, you'll be safer, but you still have to deal with them and hear them and right? Two Balcony Life. You watched it too, H&D. Hey, D. Yeah, it's a beauty. I was like, oh, get my room ready, right? Like, tell me when I'm welcome. Girl, I have a real problem. Once I know your name, I'm going to use your whole name. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I know good and well she does not say her name on the internet like that. Cherie watched the video. Okay. So the Caribbean, number one on our list, places you can go. If you don't have a U.S. passport and you still want to be out of the country for a while, Puerto Rico is a good choice. Puerto Rico is you don't need a U.S. you don't need a passport to get to fly to Puerto Rico. Now, I would, if you have a passport, I would take a passport, because if your flight gets diverted or something, you'll be stranded in an airport in another country with no passport. But if you want to leave the continental U.S. for a few weeks to give yourself some respite, a reprieve, retreat, Puerto Rico is a good choice. Um, I've been to San Juan, Puerto Rico, which is just a city. To me, I mean, it's a pretty city, a city with palm trees and beaches, but it was just a city. But when I went over to Rincon, Puerto Rico, I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm on an island. Yeah. Get yourself to Puerto Rico if you can. There's going to be lots of white American people in Puerto Rico. Okay. They're going to be there, but you can get yourself to a place where they're not going to be. Oh, Sunny D, I'm from Curaçao. Hi. Would you agree with my, well, I guess, I don't know. Is there anything about Curaçao that you want us to know? Anything else that you want us to know about it? Kaysan is in Merida in the Yucatan. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Mexico. Mexico, okay? Another place where you can go, give yourself a break, a reprieve, some respite from the United States and from these white people is Mexico. Mexico is a big country though, and so saying go to Mexico is not super helpful, but Mexico has the things that you want. If you want desert stuff, you can go to the states of Baja California and Baja California Sur, right? You're going to find desert out there. If you want city life, listen, Mexico City is the citiest city there is, right? Mexico City is for you. If you want Caribbean side beaches, there's the Caribbean side over there by Cancun and Playa del Carmen, which women in this community love. If you want the West Coast Pacific types of beaches, there's a difference between a Caribbean beach and a Pacific beach. You want the Pacific beach, Puerto Vallarta, something with an S, other beaches. You can Google it. Okay. Mexico lets U.S. passport holders in for 6 months, mostly, right? Mostly when you fly in, you're going to get 6 months on your tourist visa. You're going to get somewhere between 3 and 6 months on that tourist visa. That's a whole lot of time to decompress and relax and breathe. Mexico has a lot to offer and varied experiences. It's a beautiful country to travel around. It's a wonderful place to go from place to place inside of. It's easier to bop inside of Mexico than it is inside of the United States. Flights are cheaper, buses are cheaper. That's it. And you can rent cars and whatever. Car rentals are also cheaper. Um, it's a nice place to do a little bopping. It's also a nice place to sit down and do nothing, right? I went to, in Baja California Sur, which is the state, I went to La Paz. I did nothing in La Paz. I was there for a whole winter. I think that was 2021, winter of 2021. I was in La Paz, Mexico. I did nothing. I saw nothing. All I did was eat the food and stay in my little Airbnb. And it was a little one. That was a little Airbnb. I did nothing in La Paz. You can also do a lot of things down there. La Paz has whale watching. Rashida was like, "Did you go whale watching this week?" And I was like, "Nope." She said, "You should go. You should go on a tour. Go on a whale watching tour." Anytime I would walk to the store, I would walk past the people, signing people up to take the little tour, little day tour, little excursion. I'd be like, "Mm-mm, mm-mm." No gracias. Tranquilo. Right? I'm not here to do nothing. Okay. Mexico. So Mexico is on our list, right? No surprise. Mexico is a place where once you go there, you're going to want to move. You're going to want to leave the United States. I don't know if Curacao is going to convince you to leave the United States. Just because they're less of the conveniences that we're used to. And it's small. It's very small. But shoot, I don't know too many people who spend significant time in Mexico and aren't like, "Oh, I could live outside of the US." Even if it's not in Mexico, I don't want to go back and live in the United States, right? So yeah, we love Puerto Rico here. Hi, Wanda. I love Puerto Rico. I'm saying San Juan is the city of San Juan is just a city. I don't know. I didn't find it like, I don't know. Caribbean is funny because it is Caribbean. It's a Caribbean city, but I just didn't find it as exotic. I don't know. It's a city. There's shopping malls there. I happen to have been there for a conference twice. I went to Rachel Rogers' We Should All Be Millionaires conference 2 years in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And it was just a place. But when I went over to Rincon Beach House, got that beach house, I was like, okay. Rincon is another. It's a small town. It's a small beach town. It's not a place to go and do things. It is relax, do nothing. Yeah. Yes. Okay. More votes for watching Mocha Moiselle's video, watching her apartment tour. Watch her apartment tour. I don't think she said the price. I think we could convince her to make a video about the price. I think we could convince her to do that. But if the Caribbean is, if your ears perked up a little bit, watch that. Okay. PC is a hater. Let's see. Let's see if I can see. Oh, PCC. You can't run from your problems. Blacks are hated everywhere. So let's talk about that. No, that's false. So racism, colonization happened everywhere. Colonialism, I guess. Colonialism is not is the colonialism and white supremacist activities have a far reach. They reach everywhere. But there are places where black people can just be and mind their business. So in Merida, I forgot you. I just took your name off the screen. Kaysen, do you want to tell us in Merida? Do you feel like a black person who is hated in Merida, or do you just feel like a person in Merida? Right? There are places where you can just be. There are places where black people are in power, which is why I started with the Caribbean, right? These are black countries. These are black countries. I do think we overstate some people over romanticize the idea of the diaspora. I'm gonna say that. Some of us romanticize the idea of the diaspora, and you think, I'm a black person, I'm gonna go to a black place and I'm gonna be treated so well. Maybe. Maybe, but maybe not. Okay. But I will say you will feel better in a black place than not. You'll feel better than not, right? You'll feel more at peace than not. I also think that the idea of running from things, I think that's so slave talk. I think that's so slave talk. You can't run away from. Yes, you can. That's why running was invented. We run to run away from stuff. There's nothing wrong with running away from stuff. Shouldn't you run away from danger? Shouldn't you run away from that toxic spill that happened in Georgia? Don't y'all wish y'all could have packed up and run away from that toxic spill? You can run away from stuff. I think that thing about the negative stigma of running away from things, that's slave stuff right there. That's slave talk. That is slave master talk. You can run away from bad stuff, right? That is why we run. We have legs to get away from the bad stuff. Pisces Pratt says, didn't y'all run away from Europe? Right? Run away from that famine. Y'all had a famine in Ireland, or the British people stole all y'all's food. Y'all ran away from that. Some these white people, their ancestors ran from their grandparents ran from being persecuted as Nazis in Europe. They ran to the United States to run away from prison sentences. You can run away from stuff. I I got no problem running away from stuff. It's bad for you. Some things are bad for you and you should run away from them. I think the whole you can't run away from thing, that's slave talk. That's slave master talk. Save that for somebody else. I run away from danger. Thank you. Thank you. I think you should too. And bring pack the kids. You and them kids run away from stuff. Right? Run away, fly away, boat away, train away, get away. All right. So maybe somebody can reframe. I hope that reframes something for somebody right away. Run away. Jules says, I ran away from both my ex-husbands. Run from danger, girl. Who says I'm in danger and then sits there? Black people, right? Black people. These white people are dangerous to me. This country is dangerous to me. This job is killing me. But they're not going to run me up out of here. Yes, the fuck they will. Run me up out of there. I'm gone. I'm leaving. You going to see my back. Okay? Yes, indeed. Run back. Run away. Run until you can't run no more. Okay? Now, what people sometimes mean by that is no matter where you go, there you are. You got to deal with yourself and your life. But if the thing that is causing you so much stress and struggle is these white people, run away from them. Leave them. Leave them. Let them burn. That's enough. Let me stop. Or YouTube takes my channel away. Let them handle them. Let them handle them. You don't need to stay here and solve their problems for them. They created this problem. Let them fix this problem with their own hands and feet. Run away from that. Run towards peace. Run towards tranquilo. It's a thing I love about the Spanish language. In Mexico, in Costa Rica, you be like, I'm sorry. You be apologizing for something. And they just be like, tranquilo. Chill. Chill. Okay, we don't do that kind of worrying and apologizing over here. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I can't remember the last thing I had to apologize profusely for in Costa Rica. I'm like, I'm sorry. I something. Tranquilo. Oh, probably the security guard at the pool. First, he came to tell us we couldn't have glass because we had brought the champagne and glasses down from the room at the swimming pool in Costa Rica. We can't have glass around the pool. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Put the bag away, take it back upstairs. But we still had drinks. And then he was like, "No, you can't have drinks here. Take that away." And then we opened up some snacks. You can't have food here. Instead of telling us everything at one time, he told us everything as we did it. And then I'm like, I'm very sorry. I don't read Spanish, right? No leo español muy bien, right? And he said, tranquilo, right? And he went on about his business and I went on about mine. That is my experience with people. Jenna, thank you so much for this. You're welcome. Thank you for being here, Jenna. Welcome. Oh, Classy Hacker. Not that you asked me, but I live there too. Which there? Merida? Tell us where and tell us about it. Black people in Merida. Black people in, oh wait, I lost the chat. You said Merida. Okay, right? Do you feel, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I have interviewed more than 100 Black women around the world on this YouTube channel and on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel and inside of Exodus Summit. I've interviewed more than 100 Black women from mostly from the US, also from the UK, Canada, and the Caribbean. I've interviewed Black women all over the world. I'm telling you what I know from them, what I know from me, what I know from my homegirls. All right? So that's that on Black people. Oh, did we finish the thought? Black people being hated all over the world? No. It's just no. There are white supremacy, the idea that white was supreme, white is superior, and everything else is below it. That reaches worldwide. That reaches worldwide, right? You go to a little store in the Philippines to buy you some deodorant, and it's whitening deodorant, right? Because we want all part. They want all parts. Some of them want all parts of their bodies to be as white as possible, right? Far-reaching, but that does not mean people in the Philippines treat me badly, right? If I'm standing in line somewhere, they don't step in front of me as if I don't exist and don't have any right to be there like they do in the United States. It's not the same. Yes, white supremacy and colonization reached around the world. It touched the whole world, even places where Christianity didn't reach, right? Even place or any religion. White supremacy reached further than any religion reached, than any financial system reached. You think capitalism is everywhere. It's not as everywhere as white supremacy, right? Vietnam is These communist countries they don't operate on the same capitalist system that we operate under. White supremacy reached further than all these other things that are foundational to us as people, that are what we know as how to live as a person. White supremacy reached further than that. But that doesn't mean you, a black woman, can't live somewhere else better, be treated better, and like it better. Okay? Be at ease. We want to be at ease. I love it in them Spanish speaking countries. They be like, tranquilo. And I be like, tranquilo. Okay. If you say it, I'm going to do it. If you say be chill, I'm going to be chill. Okay. All right. And Maggie Mui, you can just be in Osaka, Japan, and Okinawa, Japan. And that's considering what the United States did to Japan, that says a lot about Japanese people, right? You show up there as a that people, I don't care where you go, people will know that you're American. Almost always people know I'm American immediately, right? Hardly ever do I feel like I am treated as if I am a person who comes from the only country in the world who has dropped the atomic bomb. My country is the only country that has dropped the atomic bomb. My country is currently funding genocide right now, right? But hardly ever do you get treated like it when you go places. That says something for people. I come from a country where if you speak English, you probably don't speak any other language. So I come from a country where they assume we're pretty dumb, right? But hardly ever do people treat me in a less deserving way. I come from a bad country full of bad people who've done bad things. And when I show up, mostly, I'm just treated like a person. The idea that people are going to that whole idea that black people are hated everywhere, that's because you're from a country and maybe one of the perpetuators of the that type of action. But all people don't act like that. All people don't treat people like that. In Vietnam, I really had a great life. I can't wait to get back. We're going to Vietnam, February 20 to 28th at least. I'm going to be in Hoi An, Vietnam. We getting together. We having a meetup, right? I can't wait to go back to Vietnam. Our country did not, our country, what they call the American War, was very hard on Vietnam, right? But when I walk around, I'm just a person. They know I'm American. They hear me speaking English with my American accent. They see how confused I am. They know I'm American. But they don't treat people poorly outwardly in the same way that in the United States it's expected that you're going to treat people poorly because they have an accent, which means they come from somewhere else, or because they don't look like you look, or because they need some sort of special accommodation because of a physical or some sort of disability. We're expected to treat people poorly. It's a bad country. We're a bad country full of bad people, right? But that doesn't mean other places are like that. It doesn't mean other people are like that. Get out there and see for yourself. But that's what I know. Hi, Adalia. Adalia is Picky Girl Travels the World. It takes some kind of gall to tell people that they should just make their peace with being mistreated and unsafe. Yes, it takes being a bad person, right? That's what bad people say, right? That's what soulless people say. That's what the people say who have gained the world and lost their soul. They've lost their humanity. They are not the same kind of humans as we are. That is how they can fix their mouths to say that. They don't have the same humanity. They don't have the same soul. They don't have the same conscience or consciousness. They don't have it to give. You can stay here and try to fight with them, argue with them if you want to, but you're not going to win because they're not the same kind of people you are. I like to be in places where there are people like me, people who are humans with souls and consciousness and consciences, people who like to be in community with other people who treat people well. I like being there. I really, really love Latin America. All right, Erica De Niro TV. Hi, Erica. Your ancestors will rejoice when you get that passport and leave. Go. They didn't want to be here. That argument, I just don't get it. They didn't want to be here. What do you think? What do you think it was like for them? You think they did not want to be here? Even people who came to work here, like on purpose, came to work for money. Even they don't want to be here. Right? But your people did not want to be here. So saying that you can't abandon this country because your people built this country, like they didn't want to. It was slavery. They were enslaved. Stockholm syndrome is not a hard enough term. There needs to be a term for Black American or Black people affected by the slave trade. We need a separate term because Stockholm syndrome, I don't think, maybe I need to read I don't think covers the depth of the identification, right? We know that that Hearst girl, the Hearst heiress who was kidnapped, and she became on the sides of her. But I don't think it captures the depth of our connection to this place. The only reason to want this country to survive as is beyond brainwashing. It's you've been poisoned by the toxins. I don't know. We need a better term. There needs to be a term for Black people brought to the Americas who then who feel a vested interest and connection in making sure that this place profits, benefits, wins. Can you imagine being in a bank and the bank robbers come in? And they're just greedy bank robbers. They're not bank robbers it's not John Q trying to save his child. It's just greedy, somebody who wants to be greedy. And you saying, I'm on their side. I want them to win. I'm going to help them. I'm going to become their biggest PR person. I'm going to be the face of their movement, their greedy capitalist movement. Not me. It's beyond Stockholm. It's beyond identifying with their plight. It's more than that. Hey, Viv is Yoga Bliss Dance. She says, I'm in Italy right now, loving it so far. Good. People can be rude, but it's general rudeness because of over tourism. Yeah. So there are parts of Italy that have a reputation also of being racist, right? There are parts of Italy where you're going to go and you're going to see they're going to not treat you that well because you're Black, right? Probably like you, like we're used to in the United States. British people always get so upset about it on the internet. And I'm like, where do y'all live that you don't know what that feels like on a daily basis? Right? Italy has a reputation, but there are also places in Italy where you can go and just be, right? Same, like there are places. I'm not saying that there is no place in the world. That's why South Africa is not on my list as much as I love South Africa. I think on this list for today, if you want a respite from the white people in the United States, I don't see South Africa being any better for you right now, right? They got them white people down there. They bad people too. But there are parts of Italy, Viv. I hope you get to some parts of Italy. I hope you get to bounce around Italy a little bit and get to some parts where you don't have to experience that. The ABX girl. Myself and my other family members will be out of the U.S. in January and February. I even decided to not visit Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, I understand that because they're going to be out there. Them white people, they're going to be there. That's why my list is Curaçao. For the Caribbean, I think Curaçao because white people don't know it exists. American white people don't know it exists. That's why that's on my list. Excuse me. All right, so let's see. My chat thing, my little chat box, they did some sort of update and it's refreshing every time. So when I scroll, I keep losing my place. I'm sorry. So I don't know. I need to figure out what's going on with that. So it's really hard to find relevant comments because it keeps resetting over and over. But okay, I think we've moved on from, I think we're done with that. So we're done with the Black people, they hate Black people everywhere conversation. We're also done with a couple of Caribbean options. So let's talk about countries in Africa. If South Africa is a place that I wouldn't recommend going for this purpose, right? I love South Africa. I love Johannesburg. Johannesburg is alive. Cape Town is a much prettier city. Johannesburg is alive. But I wouldn't go there if what you want to do is be away from these white people. You don't want to go to a place where you're going to be in close proximity to them same kind of white people, them South African white people. So where in Africa, people around here love them some Ghana. I think Ghana is a lot like Curacao in that you're going to enjoy it to visit. I don't know about moving there. It seems expensive and not it seems expensive, right? But for a visit, if we're spending the winter somewhere, why not Ghana? Ghana does a big December thing. They do it. There's a whole to do, a whole production in December. December is a wonderful, American people love going to Ghana. Black American people love going to Ghana in the wintertime. So I think it's perfect timing. I think Ghana, we got to put Ghana, it's got to be next on our list, right? It's got to be the next place. It's not the only place in Africa, and I'm much interested in East Africa than West Africa personally. But Ghana's got to be on the list. Rashida's session in Exodus Summit 2024 broke down some tourist visas and not tourist visas. It wasn't tourist visas. Broke down some residency visas, and there were some good options for East African countries in terms of like, here's how you can come and stay. She talked about Rwanda's visa, but I think also Kenya or Tanzania had a nice residency option for us. So we put Ghana. I want to put Ghana and I want to put somewhere in East Africa on the list. I'm just going to put East Africa because I'm not sure who would like Ghana and who would like Tanzania, as I haven't been there yet. Tanzania has Zanzibar. So if you want to be on a white sand beach, but it also has like a real, I don't know, Zanzibar just has a distinct look to it. Then that's Tanzania. Kenya's got some beautiful beaches too. Diani Beach is a beach that people love. So I'm just gonna say East Africa. I know that's a lot. Also, like Uganda, you want to do some gorilla trekking in Uganda? You want to right? You want to do some safari stuff? The people who went on safaris in East Africa seem to have a better time. People who have done safaris in East Africa and South Africa, the country, right, have a better safari experience in East Africa. I think if anyone is here in the chat and you want to say if you've done safaris both down in South Africa and in somewhere in East Africa, I think most of the time they'll say they prefer East Africa. So I'm just going to put East Africa on there. I know it's a whole region. Shay Meyer said Johannesburg is where her quiz suggested her to go. Listen, Rashida and I both really, really, really love Johannesburg. Um, Yeah, and you can be in Johann. So in Cape Town, white people are everywhere. White South Africans are everywhere. In Johannesburg, you can kind of be a little more insulated. So I'm not saying that it's a no-go for you, for anybody here. I'm not saying it's a no-go. I'm just saying on my list, I have an agenda to keep us away from these people. So I just intentionally left South Africa off the list for today. It's on my list every other time. I talk about it all the time. I think it's a place that we can live well and enjoy ourselves and, have a nice life. Let's see. Yeah, Tanzania looks stunning. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. So I just put East Africa. Okay. On my sabbatical when I was traveling around, no, this was after my sabbatical when I went to South Africa in 2017. I wanted to get up there and go to Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. There's a little loop that people do, but it was just too expensive at the time, too expensive for me at the time. It was not in my budget. I was still a very, very budget traveler, living off of birthday money and veterans benefits and a little bit of client work as a virtual assistant. So it wasn't in my budget at the time. So I still have not been to that part of the world. And it wasn't easy to get to from South Africa. Getting from South Africa to like Kenya required me to fly to Dubai, and it was just expensive. It was just past my price point at the time. So I haven't been there, but maybe soon. Asia, I know I'm going to Asia in 2015, but maybe I'll somehow get to South to East Africa as well. Yeah, SK says East Africa is better for safari. I've heard that from everyone I know who's been to safaris in the East somewhere and inside of South Africa. All of them have said that. Oh, is there a lot of activity? Let me get my phone. I don't see. So I'm on Ecamm Live, and Ecamm Live doesn't show me all comments, and so I can't see trolls. Let me go back. Hold on, give me a second. So this is why a more a person who I should have asked Nirel if she could moderate. Nirel is in, where's she at right now? I think she's in Ibiza. I think she's in Spain. She's not here. She's the only person I've ever given moderation abilities to, I'm pretty sure. I need to fix that problem soon. ASAP. Everything's been so chill and quiet here for a while that I kind of got lulled into a false sense of security. But okay, so she says, Infinite says, block ojo azuelos. Oh, blue eyes. Okay, let's see if I can find that person. Give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let's talk about safari options. Anyone, and where else have you been on safari that you liked or didn't like? I'm not saying that we didn't like South Africa. My mom and I went on our safari in Kruger National Park. Loved it. And loved the hotel. It was wonderful, a wonderful experience. I'm not saying it's not good. Believe that. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying they've had an even better experience over there. I can't scroll back enough to find Ojo Azuelos. I can't scroll far back enough. I'm sorry. Let me keep my phone on. Battery's about to die, of course, because I don't charge things. Okay, Radiant Renewal said, listen, y'all, you can block them out. Just focus on yourselves. Okay, but I do want this to be a place where you feel good. I do want that. Okay, Lady Sarita says, y'all are handling it. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. The problem is, so I see the Noir Reed says you called them by their names and they came running. I just want to make sure people who want, Black women who want this information find this information. Like seriously, that's all I want to do. I want to make sure that y'all know what to do. If you're here and you're stressed out already just by the commercials and the ads, imagine how you're going to feel after the election is over. And either we have a Black woman president, right, which is going to set these white people off, or I don't even want to say the other option, right? I understand wanting to find another place. I also understand that you want the information and I want to give you the information. So I'm going to put the information out in the world. Normally, I don't have to worry too much about trolls, but I'm going to do my best to keep my phone on. And if y'all tell me again who to block, next time it'll show up. Okay? Shay Irvin, first of all, you call me Wanda. Maya calling me Wanda Sykes. I know what you're doing. I think I can't, it's not a thing that you can do like right here and now. You have to, oh, add as moderator. Oh, maybe I can. Let's see. Okay, Shay, Maya, I think you're moderator now. Thank you. Thanks for that. Okay. Yes, so active fool. Okay, so I don't think there's any hopefully anybody who was like they're not going to act a fool. You can see they're already upset by this little video. So you can see how upset they're going to be. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button if you're here before while we move on. So we've talked about countries in Africa. We're not going to talk about North Africa because frankly, only place I've been in North Africa is Morocco. And I didn't feel, as a Black woman, I didn't feel comfortable and at peace and tranquilo. All right. I didn't feel chill there. And I don't know that it's possible in North Africa. It's a place that you should go and visit. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Morocco, Egypt, where I haven't been. Um, the other place that I do want to go to that you can take a cruise from Rome down to anyway, there are places in North Africa that I think are absolutely worth visiting, but I don't think they're places to go if you need a race respite. Right? If you need I listen, I got to get away from these people. I don't think North Africa is the choice. I may be wrong, and it may depend on what people see when they see you. With my skin color, right? My hair and nose, it wasn't, I can't foresee going there and feeling like this, Tunisia. I can't feel like this is a race respite. Okay. I do plan to go to Tunisia. Tunisia looks amazing. And you can take a little ferry from Italy, I think from like Sicily or something. You could take a little Palermo, Sicily to Tunisia. You could take a little ferry. I wouldn't put I wouldn't put those countries on a race respite though. Beautiful places to visit, but not if this is what you need. Okay. Am I clear about that? So we're not going to talk about North Africa. We've talked a little bit about West Ghana, right? And we've talked a little bit about East and South. Okay. All right. So she called me Wanda Sykes and then said, child, I've been called Wanda Sykes on 6 continents. Every place I've been, somebody has been like, you know who I think that is? She's from the Maryland area, so she's from around here. We might have some family in common. All right, I hope that we can get through this. Maybe they'll leave in a few minutes. Maybe they'll leave, right? When they see that we don't really care about their opinions on things. All right. Okay, we appreciate it. You're welcome. I want y'all to know I want y'all to have the information. Yeah, so Ghana is not on my personal list. Uh East, I'm much more interested in spending time in East Africa. Maybe after I visit Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, then I might become interested in Ghana. Right now, I'm not, but that doesn't mean you're not. Tiffany Hurd, who is Where in the Herd is Tiffany. She does wonderful, fantastic trips to Ghana. So if I was going, I would go with Tiffany. Um, and she my friend. But it's just not on my list of, my upcoming list. Okay. All right. So we talked about the Caribbean. We talked about Mexico, which is North America. Let's go back, and we've talked about Africa. Let's go back to Central and South America. Um, I'm not going to say Costa Rica. I know you think I'm going to say Costa Rica. I'm not going to say Costa Rica because American white people love them some Costa Rica. And girl, there's a place that I've been wanting to go to that I just haven't been. Oh, let's go with Central and South. Okay, so Central America, I would really love to go to Guatemala. There are some. There's a town or an area in Guatemala near the Lake Atitlan that I think would be a wonderful place to take a respite, a wonderful place to just lay back and relax some. Guatemala is budget priced, I think still budget priced. Think you can get you a nice Airbnb or hotel room for a reasonable amount of money. And if you're going to take a race respite, I would consider Guatemala. Libria Jones stayed in a place in Guatemala where you look out the window at the lake. There's a volcano lake, right? A lake with a volcano. Is it a volcano or just a mountain? I think it's a volcano lake, a lake with a volcano. And quite a few places there. When you stay there, that's your view. That's what you wake up to, right? That's what you see. So I'm going to put Guatemala on our lists. If we're talking about a race respite, I don't think Guatemala is a place that you're probably going to want to live. Somebody will. Somebody will love Guatemala. We'll get there and love it and live there. But I think for a lot of us, if we want to spend a few weeks away, Guatemala, near Lake Atitlan. You'll see it. Google it. It's beautiful. Okay. So I'm not going to put Costa Rica on the list because there's so many American white people in Costa Rica. Everywhere you go, everywhere you go. To go to, except, so you'd have to stay in San Jose to stay away from the white people. And San Jose is not the prettiest. It's not a respite type of place. It's a town, right? But the beaches are full of American white people. So I'm not going to put Costa Rica on the list. But we're going to move into South America, and I'm going to say Colombia. So I'm going to write down Guatemala and then Colombia. This Colombia is on my 2025 list. I don't, listen, I don't care. I don't care. I'm getting myself to Colombia. It's been too long. How long? I'm playing myself, okay? Oh, okay. Travel Spanish with Claire, Brazil. Brazil is humongous. Claire, where in Brazil? I've been to Salvador de Bahia, Brazil. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think of another name for it, but that's it, right? Salvador de Bahia in the state of Bahia. Yeah. I've been to Salvador de Bahia, Brazil. Fantastic. It's what they call Black Brazil, right? More Black people in that part of Brazil than the other parts, the other cities. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. They're not going to think you're Brazilian when you go there. They bust my bubble immediately. This one man was like, "I love you, America." I'm like, "How he know I'm not from here?" They will not think you're Brazilian. I don't care. I don't care. But Brazil, okay, Brazil on the list. Brazil and Colombia for South America. There are some places in South America you don't want to go. Okay, Argentina for a race respite. No, indeed, them same people, them same Nazis who fled prosecution in North America. They also went to Argentina. They down there, right? It's they in Brazil too. It's why you see so many German sounding names in these countries. Costa Rica too, right? So Argentina, not a race respite. Brazil, yes, a race respite. Okay, so back to North America. Is Belize North America or Central America? I need y'all to make videos about Belize because what I know about Belize is people say, "Oh, I love Belize," and then they never tell you what they loved about Belize. So I don't think Belize is a place people really like. This is the thing I have decided. Until y'all start making videos telling me what you liked about that place, I'm assuming you're just talking. You don't mean it. Every time somebody be like, "I love Belize," I listen. My ears are perked up. What's she gonna say about it? Nothing. Nothing. Excuse me. Nothing. So Belize, you could put it on your list. I totally don't believe people. I don't believe you. All right. Travel Spanish with Claire says Cuba is on her list, but is it safe? Cuba is, I haven't been to Cuba. Adelia has, Jewel has, if she's here, Jewel, Ms. Bohemian Soul has. Quite a few of you have. Cuba is not on my personal list for this thing because it's not because there's so many white Americans there, because it's harder for Americans to travel there. So it's that you're going to find fewer white Americans. But Cuba just strikes me as a harder place. And, I don't like hard places. I like places where stuff is just easy. So Cuba, I've never put Cuba on any list, but it's not because it's not a good place. It's just life is harder there. Americans still have that embargo. We can't bank there. So you can't pull money out of your bank in Cuba. So you have to take all of the money with you, or you need to have a bank in another country. That to me is a reason alone for me to never ever go to Cuba, because I am the person who always underestimates how much money I need. I would never make it. My trip to Cuba would end with me panhandling, right? And then the internet situation, I don't think you can, internet's not the easiest to access. Cuba's not on my list because I think it's hard, not because I don't think it's worth it, but because I don't do hard places. I want to go to easy places. I want to sit back and relax. That's why. But I think that Guatemala, I think Colombia, I think parts of Brazil, we're going to put them on our list for this. Okay? Teresa says, I've heard mixed reviews about Brazil. Are you talking about in terms of being a black woman in Brazil? I think that Salvador de Bahia, I've never heard a black person say they went to Salvador de Bahia and they're like, either I didn't like it or it was just okay. I think it matters where you go in Brazil. Also, knowing that Brazil is, most of the places that we're going to travel to are also pretty safe. Brazil, parts of Brazil are places where you have to still be on guard, right? You have to, just like you move around your city, you have to move like that around the cities in Brazil, which is not a thing we're used to when we travel. When we travel to other places, we generally can be out in the world, right? Brazil is a place where you have to keep your street smarts about you. So that may be another thing. Yes, and white people know. Geechee Diane says white people know about Belize, so lots and lots and lots of white American people there. So I'm not gonna put Belize on this list anyway. I wasn't gonna put it on the list anyway, but it's a place where you're not going to Belize to get away from American white people. They love it. They love it because of the English speaking, I think. I don't know what else. That's what I always assume when people say they love Belize. I'm like, you never said what you love about it, so I don't believe you. Okay, El the Goddess says, in Belize, I love the people. Okay, hard to translate their warmth, kindness, humanity. Okay, thank you, El. I appreciate that. Because I've been like, I just wait. Like, she's going to give me a reason. And then they're just like, done with the conversation. The people is a good reason to enjoy a place. It's why I love Costa Rica, right? The people. So I understand that. Thank you. Yeah, Janella, Cuba, I've not heard Cuba is unsafe. I don't mean Cuba is safe. I just mean just harder, right? You got to have all the money with you. You're not going to have internet. Restaurants, you're not just, from what I understand, you don't just walk into a restaurant to eat. You have to go to a house. It's like a restaurant, but it's a house and you have to have things planned. And I'm not built for that. Yeah, Adelia agrees with me. Thank you, Adelia. Cuba is hard. For somebody, it's worth it. For me, I'm not into that. Right. There's too many other places for me to go than for me to pick a place where I know I got to do all this prep work. I'm just not, I'm not that person. Y'all know that. As some of you know that. I'm not that person. Yeah, but I would doubt seriously that it's unsafe because nobody's ever said it's unsafe. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Angela. Hello, the Dr. Reverend Angela B. Martin, the Reverend Doctor, excuse me, the Reverend Dr. Angela B. Martin. I watched a video talking about the white people in Brazil treating people of color like trash. I mean, in Belize, I'm stumbling all over this comment. In Belize, white people in Belize treating people of color like trash. Yeah, that's why, listen, I'm not putting Belize on my list. I'm not putting places where I think you're going to run into the same people. I'm not putting that on my list. These American people, they love Belize. They love it. They love it. Abba had a good time in Cuba. People were wonderful, but would not live there. It's not a place to live. Okay. All right. Marcia says the Dominican Republic. I don't, this is not on my list as well. If you're looking for a race respite, right? Dominican Republic is not it for black and brown people on my side of the paper bag test, right? Maybe for maybe for people who have lighter skin, who look less black, less African, less Haitian looking, right? Maybe for you it would be a better experience, but I think for somebody who looks like me, I would not recommend the Dominican Republic. It's not that. It's not that, girl. Okay? You're not going to like it. Go to Puerto Rico, but don't go to the Dominican Republic. All right? So we've cut, and then, so I wanted to stay in South America, Colombia and Brazil. Is Colombia is safe? Hi, Faith. Is Colombia safe? I was nervous to go there. There, so Colombia is not what it used to be, right? It's not the gangs and the cartels that you do know. The major cities are major cities, so you're going to want to look out for pickpockets and scams, stuff like that. But in terms of are people going to be shooting in the streets, shooting up the streets? Nope. Y'all got that in Atlanta. I don't know where you live, Faith, but I was in Atlanta and there was a shooting at the gas station. But when I came in at 11 o'clock at night, I took an Uber instead of the Metro, the MARTA. Ubered, and he was like, "You see that gas station right there? They have a lot of problems." He said it used to be called Quick Trip, and Quick Trip pulled out. Quick Trip would not stay there because there was so much shooting and violence at that gas station. And don't you know, while I'm there was another shooting at another gas station. A young woman was killed pumping gas. So it's not that, Faith. Colombia is not that. Okay, you're not going to find people just shooting up and down the streets. Um, it's pickpockets and little scams, right? Squirt stuff on you, clean you off. While they're cleaning you off, their friend is picking your pockets. Colombia and a lot of major cities. Pickpockets you're gonna find, but and maybe like, I'm here to pick up a sex worker. Right? I'm here to pick up a sex worker. While I'm hanging out with the sex worker, her crew is robbing me. It's that. That's that's Colombia. Okay. If you avoid the sex workers and you can prevent pickpocketing, right? I think you're going to enjoy Colombia. I can't wait to get there. I think I'm going to Bogota, which is the chilly part. I'm going to the chilly part. Maybe I'll do a two stop, right? Do two cities. But I know I want to go to Bogota because it just looks so green and pretty. Costa Rica, San Jose, Costa Rica is just not a pretty city. And so I just want to go to some pretty cities in Latin America and see them. All right. Yeah, Royal. Dominican Republic can miss me. Yeah, same. Same, same. All right. So I missed another one. Let me scroll back. Just leave Patrick. Where's Patrick? And what's Patrick's problem? Do I need to block Patrick? I don't think I'm not doing a good job of this. Let me see. I missed it. I missed it because you can only scroll back so far on the phone, I think. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm doing my best. My best would have been to get a moderator. I am doing my best. Please block. I don't see Patrick though on my phone. So my phone should show everything and I don't see. I can only scroll back so far, but maybe it's the chat is a little so active that I can't see the bad guys. So you're going to have to block him yourself individually. If he's getting on your nerves, you can just click on somebody's name or click the three dots by somebody's name and you can block them yourself. If you're watching on the phone, I'm sorry. I mean, if you're watching on the whatchamacallit. Oh, Shay did it. Thanks, Shay. Yay. Nope, your name is not Shay. You told me your name. Maya. Thank you, Maya. Maya or Mia? Thank you, moderator. Can you email me when we're done so I can give you some some dough? Shay, please email me, Stephanie at Vacarious.com. Send me your Cash App or your PayPal when we're done, please. Shay. Maya. Maya or Mia. Send me your Cash App or PayPal when we're done, if you don't mind. Feminine Divine Christos Energy Tarot says, hello. When you spoke of hard places to live, I thought about living somewhere according to astrocartography. It's based on your birth chart. Nobody ever says I do it. People keep saying astrocartography, but nobody says I do astrocartography. And let me talk. Part of it is also that I don't, nobody knows what time of day I was born. So I've never had a full like chart done. Okay, Maya's on it. I didn't put Panama on the list just because we always talk about Panama, not because it's not a good choice. Panama is a place where you can go and get your respite. Now, there's going to be American white people there, but you can get away from it. Get away from it. Panama's big enough. So it's not on the list just because I talk about Panama a lot. I figured if I'm going to have Mexico on the list, at least I should not put Panama and Portugal, right? So I'm not going to put Panama and Portugal on the list, even though Mexico made the list. Mexico is just so easy to get to. It's so close. It's so close and so inexpensive to get to that I couldn't not put it on the list. So we've said Curacao, Mexico, Ghana, East Africa, Guatemala, and Colombia. That's my list right now. Oh, but we added on Brazil. Okay, so let's go to Europe. Let's go to Europe and talk about some places if you want to take a respite. A lot of Europe is so easy to get to. Okay. And remember my opinion, that American white people, Australian white people, South African white people, they're the worst. Okay. But there are other white people who are not the worst. They're just white people, right? So I'm going to put Spain instead of Portugal on the list because I've hyped up Portugal enough. Okay. I'm going to put Spain on the list because my friend Katrina just had a wonderful time in Spain. And we've talked to Yolanda, who is locating Cozy, about Spain. And she loves it. She's Spain's biggest hype woman for Zaragoza, right? And so let's put Spain on our list as a place in Europe that you can go to take your race respite. Spain does not have the best reputation in terms of its treatment of Black people, especially African Black people. So now I'm rethinking this whole thing. I put Spain on just because I didn't want to put Portugal on. But Spain has a we're taking Spain off the list already. Okay. We're taking Spain off the list. Let's go with so I want to put the Republic of Georgia, the nation of Georgia, on, but it's not the easiest place to get to. Where's a place you can fly into? You can fly into the Netherlands. Although it's Christmas time and you're going to have to deal with Black Pete. They have a Christmas character who is supposed to be, I don't think he's a Black person. He's just a person covered in coal. Somebody from the Netherlands, anybody from the Netherlands here? I don't think Black Pete is a Black person. I think he's just a person with coal on him, but you're going to run into a blackface character. So not the Netherlands if you're going in the wintertime. So now that I've taken Spain off, I got nothing in Europe. Maybe we'll go back. We'll say Georgia, and we got to have a place where you can just fly into. Belgium, Frankfurt, Germany, Austria. I'm lost. What are y'all saying in the chat? Let's see. Anybody in the chat giving me a European country? Nobody. Oh, it's Maya Rudolph. Oh, where are you? Where are you? That's why you called me Wanda. Okay. We met in not the Maya. It's not Maya Rudolph. Okay. She looks like Maya. She looks like Maya Rudolph. People stopped her in the meetup to say, "You know who you look like?" She looks like Maya Rudolph, and people tell me that I look like Wanda Sykes. So that's why. Okay, now I understand. Okay, if you'll send me your Cash App, please, I'd appreciate that. Oh, Croatia. You probably need a connecting flight to get into Croatia, but we're going to put Croatia and Georgia. Basically, those former Soviet countries have a decent reputation. How close are Croatia and Georgia? I had a I enjoyed Serbia. People in Serbia were good to me. I got no complaints. Serbia and Hungary. Croatia. Let me look on my map before my phone dies. Thank you. Thank you. All these pop-ups. Stupid. I did something dumb to my phone. So Wanda liked Tirana, Wanda Duncan, like Wanda from Black the Black Women Travel podcast. So she liked Albania, Montenegro, Croatia. They're all neighbors. And then you go Hungary, Serbia, Kosovo, that whole area. I don't know. What is this area called? The former Soviet Union? Um, starting with like starting with what used to be the Czech Republic, which we're supposed to call Czechia now, Czechia. All of that. Prague, Budapest. That whole area. So it's Eastern Europe, but not all of Eastern Europe. Some of Eastern Europe has a bad reputation for Black people, for treating Black people poorly. But parts of Eastern Europe, so we'll call it Croatia. We're going to just say Croatia, but Croatia and its neighbors. Croatia and neighbors. I'm typing this in the wrong place. I didn't mean to type that there. Croatia and its neighbors. We'll make our European list a few places. They have a good reputation, including the Republic of Georgia, which Black people love. Black people love Georgia. Black people who have been there love it. So we'll make that our Europe list. I don't want to put the UK on the list because they're acting bad. White people in the UK are acting bad. And I don't want to put France on the list, although it is France. France is the answer, but it's not Paris, is what I want to say. France is the answer, but not Paris. Go to the south of France. So we'll also put that on the list, the south of France. Do you want to spend your money in the south of France? If you can't get in the water, that's your business, right? That's up to you. If it's too cold to swim, are you okay being in the south of France? Maybe. Somebody is. I don't think I would. I think I would want to wait. Okay. Okay, we've got Europe. Covered Europe. All right. Now we got to go into Asia, right? Where in Asia would make for a good race respite? If you want to if you want to get away from these white people, where can you go? Tony says, this title is extremely racist. If you say so. If you say so, if you don't have to live your life thinking about these white people and what they're doing, then that's an experience that you have. In my experience, as a Black woman who looks like this, there in the side of the United States, I need to buffer myself from these white people. And that's why I don't live in the United States anymore. So whatever if this is not for you, this is for everyone. Everybody, put your listening ears on. Everyone. If this video is not for you, leave. Okay? Exercise agency over your life and leave. Now, everyone who is still here, you understand how saying to people, if something is not for you, leave, could also apply to you. If this country is not for you, if things are not working out, if you don't like it there, leave. Exercise agency over your life. Just because you are somewhere doesn't mean you have to stay somewhere. Just like we want people to leave this video because it's not for them, I think you should leave the United States of America because it's not for you. It's toxic. It's killing you. Whether you leave for a little while or for good. Just like we want them trolls to leave this video, because this is not for them. It was never intended for them. I didn't invite them. I have not built this channel for them. I have not built this community for them. That's what your country thinks of you. That's what the United States thinks of you. They didn't build, this country is not for you. You were never intended to stay here. Nothing is taking you into consideration. They're never going to consider you. They're never going to serve you. They're never going to treat you like a worthy person. And so I think it's best you leave. We leave videos, we leave countries. I didn't set this channel up for the kind of person who would say, it's racist to say whatever. This is not a place for you. It's not a place for you. If you want to live in a world, if you want to live a racially, what is it, post-racial, if you want to be in a post-racial place, this is not the place for you, because I'm a black woman and I love being with black women. I love being a black woman. I love having community with black women. And if you think somebody saying this place is for black women is racist, this is not a place for you. Even if you are a black woman, this is not a place for you. But also, if you are a black woman, the United States of America is not a place for you. It was never created to be your home. The systems were never set up to apply to you in a favorable way. And I think it's best you leave. And so that's what we're doing here today. Okay? I don't know how much more clear. I don't know how much more clear I can be about that. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Some stuff nothing is for everybody. We say everything ain't for everybody, but nothing is for everybody. Nothing is for everybody. But there is something for you. There's a place for you. There's a space for you. There's a community for you. Instead of banging your head up against the wall in a place that was never meant for you, go someplace you can live, someplace you can breathe. Go someplace where you can have a full, happy life, where you don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't have to brace for every interaction. Do that. Please, I've begged you. I have begged you, okay? Rashida and I hosted Exodus Summit 2024 to put together a full conference for you. Please use these resources, okay? And get yourself up out. I'm okay if your get up out is for a few weeks. I'm okay with that, right? Your job shuts down in the winter, or you have remote work, or you got some money, whatever. I'm okay if that's for a few weeks. I know mostly we talk about moving abroad forever, but if it's for a few weeks, it's for a few weeks. It's, it's going to be the gateway, okay? A few weeks is the gateway to moving abroad forever. But let's not tell everybody that. Let's keep that a secret, okay? I'm on that. Some people don't need to know that yet. But let's do that. Yes, exercise your agency. That's the message for everyone. Exercise your agency. Pick up your feet and go. Whether it's leave this video because it's not for you, leave that job because it's no longer for you. Leave that country. It's not for you. You can live better. You know how people be talking about, you know how they be talking classy hacker. You know, there are people who believe that. Post-racial, them I don't see color gang, right? If you want to be part of the I don't see color gang, have at it. You will see who does see color, though. When you come in contact with them, you'll see who does see color. All right? But if that's the life you want to live, this channel is not for you, because this is for Black women. As you can see, there's lots of Black men here, and they're speaking up today. I appreciate the men here who are here in support of us. I appreciate that. Because, you know, I appreciate support. But this is not a place for the I don't see color gang, right? for Black women and their families. Thank you kindly. Hello, the traveling Sangoma. Hi, this is my first live. I love it here. Welcome. I would like to say that there's usually a little less yelling, but I have been a little yelly today. But sometimes when I get excited, I get loud. My throat hurts so bad, but I'm like, I got something to say. Thank you for curating this channel as a safe space for me. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Welcome, and you're welcome. Thank you very much. All right. So we talked, did we cover Europe? Oh, Asia. We're over to Asia. Listen, in Southeast Asia in particular, a lot of places. I don't know. I'm going to pick one or two. But in Southeast Asia, there are a lot of places where you can just go. You're a Black woman. You can, now, okay, let me say this. You're going to run into people in a lot of the world. The people that you're going to want to stay away from are the American tourists because they're going to bring their American BS with them. In Southeast Asia, the people you're going to want to stay away from are probably Chinese tourists. I'm going to say that, okay? As a person who looks like this, they're not going to like treat you poorly, but they're just going to be in your face and taking pictures of you. And you don't want that. I promise you, you don't want that. No matter how funny it is the first couple of times, you don't want, that's not a way to live, right? That is not a way to spend 2 or 3 weeks. When I was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, I had an apartment and I wouldn't leave the house until the sun went down because the tour buses of the Chinese tour, not Asian tourists, Chinese tourists in particular, the buses of Chinese tourists rolled out of town about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And then I could leave my apartment and live, right? You don't want to be stuck in the house for days and days, hours and hours of the day. So it's more about avoiding the tourist areas in Southeast Asia than it is avoiding a place in Southeast Asia. So in Southeast Asia, if you're going to stay there and you want it to be a race respite, you want it to be a place where you don't have to be concerned with what white people are doing. You don't have to be concerned about, are they going to treat me bad because I'm Black? Instead of a place in Southeast Asia, it's just mostly don't stay in the tourist area if you can. If you can, especially if you stand out like I do, right? I'm tall, I'm fat, I have a lot of hair, I stand out. And it's just annoying. It's annoying to have people all in your face all the time. I recommend to people Chiang Mai, Thailand, however, right? Even though that place was full of Chinese tourists on their Chinese tour buses, all in my face, taking my picture. One man plopped his tripod down in the restaurant I was eating my breakfast in, plopped his tripod down in my face to take pictures of me, right? I still would recommend Chiang Mai, Thailand. Now, and as I saw a question about Bali. I would say if you want to avoid tourists, go to a place that's a little bit off the tourist track. But there are a lot of choices for that. In Vietnam, in Thailand, I liked a place called Hua Hin, Huahin, Hua Hin, Thailand. It's not on the beach, but it's on the water. It's on like the inside part of Thailand. I don't know how to explain it. Hua Hin, you'll see it on a map. That was a place where I hardly ever ran into other tourists. It was just Thai people living their lives, but their night market was on point. That night market, I ate good. I think I got a whole lobster for $5 or something like that. I don't know. Hua Hin. So, but also on Thailand, there are smaller beaches and islands and stuff. I don't have an answer except to say Thailand. I'm just going to say Thailand in Southeast Asia. I'm thinking Bali is just full of Australians. I'm not going to put Bali on my list. It's full of Australians. And they are not good people. White Australian people are not good people. Okay. So I'm going to take Bali for this purpose. I've been to Bali. I've enjoyed Bali. I'm not telling you don't go to Bali. I'm saying I'm compiling a list where I think Black women can go and take a race respite. Okay. And Bali is not on that list. I'm not saying Bali is not on the travel list. We go to Bali. We enjoy Bali. We eat, pray, love in Bali. Okay. But I would say another part of Indonesia, Maybe Lombok, Lombok, maybe Lombok, Indonesia. So we've got Hua Hin, Thailand, which is a tiny town. If you're not into small towns, you're not going to like it. But Bangkok, if you like cities, go to Bangkok. It's one of the cityest cities. Bangkok and Mexico City and Tokyo. There's no city like them. All of Vietnam. We're doing a meetup in Vietnam, February 20th through 28th. So make sure that if you're a Black woman, join us inside of the Exodus Summit Facebook group. I have a link here to invite you. Here, copy, paste. The Exodus Summit community. Some of us are getting together to meet up in Vietnam, February 20th through 28th, thereabouts, in Hoi An, Vietnam, little town south of Da Nang. Yeah. Penang, Malaysia, also a good choice. Hey, Underlin. Penang, Malaysia, good choice. Oh, you're going to eat so good in Penang. Penang is adorable. It's a small place, small town in Malaysia with beautiful murals everywhere and good food. Good food. So yes to Penang, yes to Chiang Mai. Tony says, second time I've heard Australians are not good people and experiences you can share. So Australia has a very recognizable history, right? They murdered and massacred their Aboriginal people like white Americans who, like the white people who came here and came to the US and murdered Native American people and stole their land. Same thing happened in Australia. The thing is, Australia is behind the US in the oops, we should do some they need some reparations, right? Australia is not there yet. And Australian people talk outwardly about the Aboriginal people being, in their words, inferior people in a way that white Americans talked about us in the 1950s, right? They're just like 75 years behind the US, right? So if you don't want to step back in time, I wouldn't go to Australia for that experience, for that reason. But go to Australia if you want to. There's kangaroos just chilling, right? Koalas just in the trees. Parrots and parakeets, they're birds in the trees are parrots and parakeets, right? This is none, I've not, even though I say things like don't go to Australia, what I mean to say is you're not going to feel peace and tranquility, tranquilo, right? You're not going to feel that in Australia because you're going to see that tension. They're not going to treat you bad, right? Because they're going to look at you and see a black woman. They don't have beef with black people, as far as I know. Their beef is with the Aboriginal people, the native people, the people whose land they stole. But you're not going to like what you see when you see them interacting with those people. You're not going to like the way it looks and the way it feels. It's going to feel very familiar, even though they're not directing it at you. That's what I mean about Australia. But go to these places. I can talk about that because I've been there, right? So I can't tell you don't go because I went. I'm just telling you it's not a race respite place. It's not a place where I just want to be a human. I don't want to think about race. I don't want to think about it. I just want to be a human person and enjoy my life. Thank you. That's not Australia. Hey Jaya, just try to I know, I apologize. So we have twice the people we normally have for a live stream. I apologize. Just try to put yourself in a happy place, okay? I did make Sharonda a moderator who is not, uh, but just try to let things fly. It'll be back to normal next Saturday, okay? We'll be back to normal tomorrow. I'll make a video about house sitting, and white people will not care about that, okay? All right, try to put yourself in a peaceful place. One time I was in a mall, when I was in the army, me and some of my friends went to the mall in our uniforms, and I don't. I was just talking to her. Keisha. It was Keisha Robertson. We were just talking. I don't remember saying anything crazy. And the woman next to me, who was I think Thai from Thailand, I think she said, "You need to try chanting. You try chanting. It give you nice. It give you peaceful." And I was like, "I think I'm already nice. I'm already peaceful." And she's like, "You try chanting." So just do some chanting. Get yourself into a zen out place. Okay. Be peaceful. Okay. Try and maybe, right? Maybe just look at the type your comment in, but maybe we don't read so many comments if they're annoying you. Are there house sits in these places? House sits are predominantly in North America, so US, Canada, Mexico, for untrusted house sitters anyway. Primarily North America, Europe, and especially the UK and Australia, unfortunately. Lots and lots of house sits in Australia. So if you want to consider it like reparations, if you want a house sit in Australia and act like it's kind of reparations, get some free accommodation from some bad people, I'm not going to blame you, right? Yeah, she said, you try chanting. It give you nice. It give you peaceful. And I was like, I'm already nice. She said, no, you try chanting. So maybe that will help you. Maybe her words will help you too. If you need a little peaceful, if you need a little nice, try some chanting. Um, um, Professor LCH, sound baths are her thing. I don't care for sound bowls. I so right, everybody has a thing that they like and don't like. Sound bowls, I don't my nervous system personally be like, mm-mm. So maybe chanting is the thing. Callie says the trolls are making my point. Yeah, yeah, they're bad people. There are bad people in the world. So I know that there are people who just don't want to accept that. But there are bad people in the world. And when bad people breed together, oh, there's no hope. There's no hope. Right? The United States is full of people who came here to massacre people, to steal their land, and then to enslave other people to grow things on that land, and then to make money. That's capitalism, right? And then those people had children with those people. Then you mix in some of the Nazis, right, who came here to evade prosecution. You mix in some of the British people who perpetrated all kinds of stuff all over the world. You mix all that in. These American white people, they are bad people. I've been all over the world. I haven't been everywhere, but I've been all over the world. I've been on 6 continents. I've seen people all over the world. I feel fine saying American white people are bad people. But there are places where you're not going to run into bad people. All I want you to do is live your life in a place where you don't have to be surrounded by bad people. I don't think that's so inflammatory. I don't know. I don't think it's that inflammatory. There are places where people are better. Until I went to Fiji, I thought Costa Rica was the best people. I thought Costa Ricans were the top tier. Costa Ricans, Black South Africans, Pinoy people. But then now I got to add Fiji to the list, right? So now we got four best people, right? It's a 4-way tie for the best people. I like to be around them. I want to live my life with them. I want to be in community with them. I want my family to be raised around them. And we can choose. We no longer have to stay in the place we got shipped to. You're not a package. You can pick up your feet. It's a lot. It's work. There's 7 steps to moving abroad. There's 7 steps to moving abroad. We covered them inside of Exodus Summit 2024. If you have not watched Exodus Summit 2024 and you have your weekend pass, you have less than a week left. Okay, weekend pass goes away on the 8th. Your access to those replays go away on the 8th. If you have the all access pass, you have access to the replays through September of 2025. If you don't have a ticket to Exodus Summit yet, get your ticket at exodussummit.com. Get your replay ticket. There's 7 steps to moving abroad. Where am I going? How much does it cost? Where's that money coming from? What about my people? Is it your children or or maybe pets? We add in. What about the living beings that I have responsibility over? Might be older parents, might be parents, right? What about my people? What about my stuff? What am I gonna do with my stuff? Is it a house or an apartment? And is it full of stuff? What you gonna do about your stuff, right? What you gonna do about healthcare? Surprisingly easy step. What am I going to do about how do I stay someplace legally? How do I get residency? There's 7 steps to moving abroad. Most people who have moved abroad, those are the 7 things they had to figure out. You can do it. 7 steps. We covered all of them inside of Exodus Summit 2024, and you can watch the replays at exodussummit.com. Get your replay ticket and watch the replays. You don't have to stay in a place where you have to prepare yourself. Like I walked around, I'm in my parents' house in Dover right now, Dover, Delaware. I walked around and I counted the Trump signs, right? Now, who are the houses I need to keep an eye on? Seriously, I'm not kidding. And I was like, I remember, I think last time for the election, there was like 5 or 6 signs. This year, I saw 2, right? But best believe, and one lady, I asked my mom specifically about this lady on the corner because well, like she lost her mind. She was in the cult, honey. She was in the cult. She had lost her mind when Trump was president before. And so I asked my mom, like, she don't even have no signs up this time. Did she die? She didn't die. She just didn't have her signs up this year, right? Where you live, you probably know which houses have Trump signs up, right? If you live in a rural area, you probably have neighbors that you are keeping an eye on. If you know you have neighbors who are out shooting and doing their war preparation, you know who they are. If you live in a place where they're outside shooting their guns off, preparing and practicing, which these white people are doing, they are preparing, they're out there practicing, they doing their little war games. You know who they are. If you're a Black family with weapons, with guns in your house, you're stocked up. I don't know why I'm supposed to pretend like we're not preparing, like we're not in danger. I'm not going to pretend like you're not in danger. I'm going to help you find a way to be someplace else. If that's what you want, go someplace else. There are places in this world where you're not going to have to buffer yourselves from your neighbors. Get the ring cam up and running. Make sure this is going. Make sure that. Make sure we got ammo. If we have guns, we got to make sure we got some ammo in the house. There are places where you don't have to live like that. Whether you go someplace for a little while or for good, you don't have to live like that. That's what we talk about over here. Inside of Exodus Summit 2024, we had speakers covering all of those steps. So I ran off the 7 steps to moving abroad. There's some questions inside of those steps, right? Some things you need to figure out. And we brought in speakers to help you navigate that. Black women and families, if you have any desire to leave the United States for good or for a little while, you're invited to watch the Exodus Summit replays and get your plan together. Because the women in this chat who don't live in the US anymore, all they did was those steps, right? All they did was those steps. I don't know any woman inside of this community who has left the United States who did something totally different, right? It's either a remote job, right? Or retirement or sabbatical, living off of savings or investments or living off rental income, right? I don't know anybody who did something way out of the ordinary. Ordinary stuff, 7 steps. Okay? So, and women in this chat live abroad. So since the chat is so big, so there's so many eyeballs here, I need to tell you that some of you are new, and I need to tell you that quite a few of the women in this chat today, in this community today, do not live in the United States anymore, right? Most of us still do. Most of them. I don't. Most of them still live in the United States. I'm in the United States, but I don't live in the United States. I'm in Dover, Delaware right now visiting my parents, and then I'm going to Nevada. I'm stopping through Texas and then going to Nevada. Then I'm up out. I actually have a house sitting in Puerto Rico for this winter. And then I'm back to Costa Rica. Canceled Barbados, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that. I've canceled Barbados. Okay, the money. Okay, I canceled Barbados and instead I'm going to Puerto Rico. That was my concession, my financial concession. Instead of staying in a hotel in Barbados, I'm staying in a house sitting in Puerto Rico for free. Okay, so that's what I'm doing this winter. Um, watch the Exodus Summit replays and get yourself a plan together. I don't care if it's for a few weeks. You're going to like it. Even if you can only leave the United States for a few weeks right now, you're going to like it. You're going to like who you are. You're going to feel better. Your nervous system is going to be able to relax and reset. Okay, right? I talked about how the sound bowls put my stomach in knots. To me, a sound bowl sounds like an orchestra tuning up, and my body is like, but when does the music start? You know how you feel the orchestra tuning up, and you're like, you feel that anxiousness? Is it just me? But then once the music starts, you relax. For me, sound bowls feel like the tune up, and I never get the relaxation. Okay? Some of you are living in the United States where you're always anxious. You always feel the knot and you never get that relaxation. You never get the payoff. Take some time out. Take some time out. You can take some time out. Okay? Kay Jordan, I hope to retire outside of the United States. I hope so too. I hope that your retirement is sooner than soon. And I hope that you're working on your plan. Jewel on Demand, I asked my job if I could work from abroad. They said no, so I'm resigning. I have quit many a job. Okay. Good. Quit the job. If a job has a say in how you live your personal life, it's not a job, it's a master. If a job has a say in what you do after you clock out, it's not a job, it's a master. For yourself. It's other jobs out there. It's other money out there. For yourself. If a job has a say in how you live your life, when you're not even on the clock, it's not a job, it's a master. In particular, if it's holding you up from something that you want. Some of you don't care. Some of you don't want to leave the country, let's say. If you don't want to leave the country and your job is like you have to stay in the country, then you don't feel enslaved by that job. You don't feel like that job is a master over your life because you don't want that stuff that the job is preventing you from having in the first place. But if your job is preventing you from having things you want in your life, if your spouse is preventing you from having things you want in your life, you have a master. Now decide what you're going to do about that. Thank you. Thank you kindly. So if you don't see a financial path to living abroad, most of the women in this community do these things. 1, work remotely. 2, run a business online. I do that. My YouTube channel pays me. My House Sitter School pays me. I just hosted the YouTube Success Challenge for Black women who want to start or grow their YouTube channel. That is where I make money, right? Exodus Summit, we just hosted Exodus Summit, that pays me. So I make my money online. Most women have a remote job or they make their money online or some sort of investment income. The house, the Vanguard account, alimony, which I would consider investment income. You invested some money in that relationship, right? Those are the 3 ways. Some women mix and match. Some women get it all from one place. Most are that. There's a 4th way, which is getting a job in another country. Generally only works best for teachers. If you're already a teacher, teaching in another country is a viable option. Teaching at an international school for most, I think for most teachers. Adelia, has it been a while since you've covered that on your channel? Um, I don't think I've ever talked to anyone except for Adelia about being a teacher at an international school. But most people do that. Work remotely or make money online or investment income or the combination of those things. Retirement income. Why didn't I? So retirement income is separate, like a pension, social security, retirement income, right? That's how we do it. That's how the women in this space do it. If you don't see a financial path to do it, it's because you haven't heard enough women talk about ways that they do it that are realistic. At Exodus Summit, we have a full session on finding remote work, and Libria is doing a bonus workshop very soon. Libria's bonus workshop for people with the All Access Pass. Let me see if I can find this out quickly. It's in November. But November is a long month. I don't have it right here. But we have a bonus workshop for people with the All Access Pass on finding remote work. That's happening soon. If a truly remote job, a job that is work from anywhere, if that would set you free to go to Curaçao or Ghana or Mexico, what's on our list? Did we finish the list? What's on our list? Curacao, Mexico, Ghana, East Africa, which is Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, as far as I'm concerned. Guatemala, Colombia, Brazil, Croatia and its neighbors, the south of France, Thailand, Indonesia. If a remote job would get you out the door quickly, don't hesitate on finding a remote job and get help from the resources that are out there. Instead of just doing it on your own and being like, it's not working. Get support. Let Libria help you. Libria Jones is the remote work queen. She has a YouTube channel and an Instagram account, and she runs the Quit Commuting community. Her community is called Quit Commuting. She helps Black women get remote jobs. So she helps people. I think she helps anybody. But, I care about the Black women. She helps you find remote jobs. If a remote job is the difference maker, if you had money coming in every month that you could make no matter where you are in the world, if that's a difference maker, I think you should be at Libria's workshop, which I don't know the date of. But it's happening soon, and it's for everyone who had the All Access Pass to Exodus Summit 2024. It's soon. Oh, let me look on my calendar. I know I can't find it in my text, but if I open my calendar, I should be able to find that. Excuse me. If you have the All Access Pass, you're going to get you can come to the workshop live, of course, and you'll get the recording so that you have it. I think, let's see. Shouldn't it be on this calendar? Adelia's is November 18th. Adelia's session is on money. Libria's session is November 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern time is when I have it on my calendar. Thank you. Oh, Olianka, how did you know that? How do y'all know that? How do y'all know that and I don't know it? Thank you. Okay, maybe Francis posted it in the community. Libria's session on finding remote work and truly remote work from anywhere, right? There are companies out here who are hiring truly remote workers. That session is November 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you have the All Access Pass to Exodus Summit 2024, you'll get your invitation. You'll get your Zoom link. If you have the weekend pass and you want to upgrade to the All Access Pass, you know how to do it. Or maybe you don't. Go to exodussummit.com, look in the top right corner, and click on one of the options in the menu, and you'll see an option to upgrade your ticket. And if you don't have any ticket yet, you can still get your replay ticket at exodussummit.com, and you can come live to those bonus workshops. Libria's session on the 25th, Adelia's session on November 18th on money, right? On calculating your number to move abroad. How much money do you need? And how much money do you have? Some of you don't know the answer to that. Let Adelia's workshop work you through that. It's a workshop. These are workshops where you work alongside the speaker. Okay? So come to those. Jewel, I'll be present and accounted for, right? We don't need to keep saying, I don't have it. It won't work. When somebody's saying, I want to help you figure this out. Have you ever had that? Years ago. So when I was a person who applied for jobs and went to job interviews, right? Before I gave up on traditional job life, the question was, tell me your weaknesses. And I would always say, it takes me way too long to ask for help. I've lost one time I walked into it. I did a special project when I work at Barclays Bank. I worked at Barclays and I did a special project in a department. I still am not exactly sure what the department did. Something about holding, banks had to hold in reserve certain amount, credit card issuers had to hold in reserve a certain percentage of the money. And this department found ways to finesse that number, right? Finesse the number so that they had to have less money in reserve. That's my understanding of what they were doing. I did a little special project over there. The spreadsheet, one of the spreadsheets that I was working on, I accidentally messed it up. And so I'm going in one at a time trying to fix every cell on this humongous spreadsheet. And it took me, I messed it up like early in the day, 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. At lunchtime, I'm still trying to fix this thing. So after lunch, one of the engineers came back. His name was Chi. And I was like, Chi, I messed up this worksheet. And I don't know. It's taking me forever to fix it. That man did like 4 keystrokes and the old worksheet was back. The old spreadsheet was back in 4 keystrokes. I spent 4 hours trying to fix that thing. Don't be a person who takes too long to ask for help. You're just wasting your time. You're not getting anything out of this. All you're doing is wasting your time. You're taking so long to ask for help. Problem could have been solved, right? So just because you think something is not possible doesn't mean it's not possible. It means you don't know how to make it possible. There's a difference. There's a difference between I can't do it and I don't know how to do it. If you reframe it to I don't know how to do it and you get help from some people who have done it, next thing you know, you will have done it. So I hope we'll see you at these bonus workshops. I hope you have your replay ticket at Exodus Summit 2024. If not your first ticket, at least get the replay ticket. Sessions are still helping women. We're still getting our, updates. Here's what I've done. Here's what's happened for me. Of course, I taught house sitting inside of Exodus Summit 2024. So if this was your first time ever hearing about house sitting, we just touched on it quick. I just was like, I'm house sitting in Puerto Rico, right? You didn't really hear a whole lot about it. The replay of my session in Exodus Summit 2024 will help you get started house sitting. Free accommodation, okay? I'm going to be in Puerto Rico, okay? Puerto Rico. And this house sit, she's like, oh, you can use the car, which is a thing sometimes. Always makes me happy. Because Puerto Rico Uber was not crazy expensive, but it'll be real nice to have use of their car. Okay, that's where I'm going to be. Okay. T. Jones, in one live, you talked about Black women needing community care, and that spoke to me like nothing else. I didn't come up with the term community care. First time I ever heard it was a woman on Twitter. Seriously. She said, stop screaming self-care at people who need community care. And I was like, yep. 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 Yeah, we have to learn how to receive, right? How to receive care, how to receive help. You may not have experience with it working out when you ask for help, but I don't think that means you stop asking. I think that means you get yourself in a place, in a space where the people you ask are willing to give. I happen to know that the Exodus Summit community is willing to give you support, help, right? I think that's the difference maker. Just because you've asked in the past and it hasn't worked out for you doesn't mean you stop asking. It means you get yourself in a different place, put yourself in a different position, in a different space. Okay? Please and thank you. And Adalia's reminding us on her channel, Adalia's YouTube channel is Picky Girl Travels the World. She has money playlists. Okay. I When I talk about money, I generally talk about making money. And now I talk that mostly on my second YouTube channel. But I don't talk too much about what to do with the money. Maybe this means Adalia and I need to invite Adalia on sometime soon. Because I don't talk too much about what to do with money. Because frankly, nobody should learn that from me. I need a third party to teach that. Because I'll be like, blow it. Right? What do you do with your money? You blow it. That's what it's for. You spend it. Spend the money. So let's find a playlist real quick. Finance tips and strategies. View full playlist. Copy, paste. Okay? So we've got finances, NANCES, tips and strategies from Picky Girl Travels the World. Adalia is Picky Girl Travels the World. She's from H-Town, but she lives in Mexico City. Thank you very much. Okay? Residents of Mexico City. And on her YouTube channel, she teaches you how to get your money together. She teaches you how to move to a new place. She teaches you financial confidence. And she teaches you how to choose a life, how to live life on your terms, right? How to choose a life, how to live a life of your choosing instead of a life by default or by like, well, this was assigned to me. We're not doing that. This was assigned to me stuff. We're done with that. All right. So you can click on this playlist right now if you don't mind. So you'll have it open in a new window. So you don't come around later talking about what was that playlist again? Okay. Click on it so that it'll open up in another window. Okay. And then you can watch it all. Thank you. Okay. So we've covered the continents. Oh no, we didn't cover. Okay. So we didn't cover Oceania. So I'm going to say Fiji. Okay. Okay. Fiji. Fiji for Oceania. Okay. I wouldn't say, I'm not going to tell you Australia. I think New Zealand is a better choice, but I loved Fiji. So I would say Fiji. People in Fiji have moved onto my list of the best people in the world. And I only went one time, and it only took me a day to be like, mm-hmm. Right? It only took me a day to be like, yeah, they're the best, right? So we're adding Fiji onto the list. So for Oceania, so now we've covered the continents. Now we've got Oceania on our list of places to go for if you want to take a race respite. If you want to be able to lay some things down, just be on a retreat, be on a vacation, and not be a Black person who has to deal with white people, especially American white people. Fiji. Okay? Fiji. Nichelle says the way we raved about Fiji. It was amazing. There's nothing I can do I can't give you any words to tell you how amazing it was. And because I'm not that kind of blogger or vlogger, I got no video to show you. Okay? I got a couple sunset videos on this channel, I think. I think I did a sunset live and a sunset on sunrise on my birthday. I didn't really go around and record things because I don't do that. I talk to the camera or the camera's off. So you're going to have to go for yourself and feel it. Okay, you have to go for yourself and feel it. Are Fiji people Black? So I thought going there that they were going to be like, we're Polynesian. They were like, girl, we Black. Okay. Now, every person in Fiji who told us that they were from Africa had a different place that they said they were from. One man said they were from the Congo. And I'm like, the Congo is in the heart of Africa. I don't know how y'all got on boats and got to Fiji. Okay. If you're from anywhere, y'all are from the coast. But that ain't my business. But they are Black people, and they loved to see Black people there. They went out of their way to treat us so well. It don't matter how many white people are in this line, they are going to get out of the whatever they were doing. One lady that had a little coffee shop hooked to the restaurant. I don't care what time we walk past that coffee shop. That lady came out of from behind that counter, left them white people waiting to come and talk to us, hug us, ask us what we were doing, and of course give us some coffee. Right? Like they went out of their way to treat us so well. Keena Williams, who hosts trips to places, she loves Fiji, and she always talks about how she got her a Fijian grandma. Right? She got her a grandma while she was in Fiji one time. And I always thought that was nice. And I thought that there, must be nice people. But I always thought, well, you'd have to be really like, you'd have to go be outgoing. And you'd probably have to go into some like small towns or villages to make a grandma. But right on that resort, I could have gotten a grandma. I could, or, they're not grandma age. They were like sister and mom age to me. Right? Like, do you want to be my sister? Somebody would have said yes, right? Somebody would have been like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna keep in touch." I didn't do that because I was going back when we were there. We already knew we were coming back, so we didn't have to do all that. But it was an amazing place with amazing people. There are good people. There are good people. Uh, let yourself experience that, right? Let yourself feel that. Critical Thinker 137 says also Vanuatuans, Timorese, New Guineans are warm to Black people. I didn't know. I didn't know that they would see themselves in me. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that I would see myself in them, but I absolutely did. I thought I was going to be like, they're dark skinned, but they're not Black, right? Like being in parts of the Philippines. There are some dark skinned Filipino people, but I didn't feel like these are Black people. And I didn't, they were good to me. People in the Philippines are very kind people, very good people. But I never felt like they're me. But in Fiji, oh girl, they you. Okay. They are you. They're you. All right. Aw. Let's see. Aura Dame Lo Mio says there's a Polynesian cultural center in Oahu, Hawaii, and the Fijians were the best and most welcoming, and the Samoans, Fijians and Samoans. Wonderful, wonderful people. We can be in places with wonderful people. We don't have to be in places with bad people, please. Okay? We don't have to stay with the bad people. Put yourself in a position to be with good people. Okay, so thank you for the super chat. I don't I listen. Some of you, I hope you're still here, so I can acknowledge your super chats while you're still here. The super chats on this community go to the Vacarian Sabbatical Fund. We are in the process of giving Alicia Renice $25,000 for her sabbatical. This is the third of three payments. We're on the third leg of giving her this money, for her sabbatical, so that she can take time and not work, rest, create if she wants to, do absolutely nothing if she wants to. We're sending out the third payment soon, relatively soon. So this money goes to the Vacarian Sabbatical Fund. So thank you for that. Ms. Hurricane, thank you. You're talking good today. Thank you. I appreciate you. That's Katrina. Hi, Annabella. Thank you. Stephanie, not one person I know wants to go. Okay, get in community with us, right? If you don't have somebody who wants to go with you, you don't need it, frankly. You can go by yourself. But if not, get in community with the Exodus Summit women. ExodusSummit.com/community. Black women are getting together to go. I saw a post I saw it yesterday, but I think it was from the day before, talking about co-living, right? Who wants to live together? John Coffey, thank you very much for the high five. I think it's Kofi. John Kofi, thank you very much for the super chat and for the high five. Thank you. Califia, yoga, any territories you'd recommend if your passport doesn't come soon enough? I would still go to Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands. You can get to the Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands without a U.S. passport. I would just try to get out of the main tourist area because there's going to be a lot of white American people there. And then I would understand that you're running some risks. When you fly out of the United States without a passport, you can get entry into these places, but if your plane has problems and it has to land in another country, you're going to be stuck at the airport until until some places won't even let you get into a hotel airport. So understand that. I wouldn't say, I'm not saying don't leave the US without without a passport. What I'm saying is if you do go, understand if there's a problem and that plane has to land for a day or two, right? You're going to be stuck in an airport. If I didn't have a passport, I would fly on a major airline like American, United, Delta, instead of an airline like Spirit or Frontier. If they only have one flight a day out of that airport, I wouldn't risk it. That's what I would do. Okay. Now you make your best decisions. Okay. But Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands are open to you without a passport. Guam on the West Coast. Well, not West. Guam is not on the West Coast. Guam is out there. But like if you're on the West Coast, Guam may be closer than Puerto Rico. I don't know. But those are places Americans can fly without a passport. Thank you very much for that super chat. Myra, thank you for the super chat. Thank you kindly. Annabella, thank you again for that super chat. Ms. B. Sick. Hi, hands doing a high five. Thank you very much for that super chat. My third party Ecamm Live describes the emoji instead of showing me the emoji. Deborah Gill, thank you very much for that super chat and welcome, welcome, welcome. Girl, you better, the Enterprise. Thank you very much. Off topic, I've tried to join the Facebook group, but my only Facebook profile is of my children's book, and I'm not accepted. So if you exit a summit has to be tight, as you saw in the chat today, which you don't normally see, but as you saw today in the chat, we have to be very tight about who we let into the Exodus Summit Facebook group. And so you're not going to get in if your profile photo and your profile is not a person, right? We don't let business accounts in. If you're not a person and if your profile picture doesn't make it plain that you're a Black woman. So I would set up a personal profile account if I were you. I would set up a personal Facebook profile for you with your photo in your name or a name. Black women love an alias. A name, but a photo of you or a photo that, yeah. Okay. That's what I would do because we won't let in a business account or a third party, a business account or a business page or a profile that's not a Black woman, right? You see today, you can understand. I hope you can understand why today. We want you to join in. So that's what I would do. I'd make a personal account. Brightest star, will we be able to get out of the U.S. after the election? Sure. Yeah. I don't, anything that any negative repercussions wouldn't happen like instantly. I don't think. Last time. Yeah. So I think so. Traveling the diaspora, baby video game. Oh, it's a thing. Okay. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you. Jewel on Demand, thank you kindly for the super chat. Omaloya One, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you, friends. Again, we send that to the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. Oh, usually I take a screenshot, but I got to scroll. Let me do this in my math, do the math at my head so I don't have to wait. 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 60, 5, 75. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that super chat. Okay, so I think we've given you lists of places where you can take a break from this stuff. Okay, place where you can take a break from the U.S. stuff. I mean, right? And be in a peaceful, enjoyable environment, and be a person. And be treated like a person. I think we came up with a really good list. Thank you for helping me with this. And thank you for your patience with me being flexibly being like, no, I'm going to take Spain off the list. Let me add Brazil on. Right. Thank you for that. Also, thank you for your patience with the chat. Okay. Thank you for your patience with the chat. Yes, we had a whole lot of people who don't like this talk here. But thank you for your patience. I think maybe that just reinforces why it's necessary for us to have our own places and to get ourselves away from those people, right? If those people will be in the chat, you know what? Those are also the people who are at your jobs. They're also your coworkers and your neighbors. And that's why I think it's important for us to be able to lift ourselves up out of this world, out of this country. I don't mean out of the world. I didn't mean out of the world. Lift ourselves out of this country, out of the United States for a while, because those same people who are in the chat being a harassee are your neighbors. They're your coworkers. They're the police officers and security guards you come in contact with, right? They're the people you have to live your life around if you're in the US. But they're not the same people who you would be around in another place. So I think maybe that just reinforced some things. But I do apologize for that disturbance. I appreciate your patience. And, I hope that you can nam yoho renge kyo yourselves to nice and peaceful. Okay. Your boss, Kimmy, right? No, this is not Kimmy. Hi, Dark Skin Tarot is a different person. Hi, they're your boss, right? They're the people these same people have a whole lot of say in how your day goes and how your life goes inside of the US. And that's why we make so much of an effort to leave the US. Okay? These people have a lot of say in your life. Not that you gave them say, but that's how things are set up right now. And I really like to see Black women lift themselves up out of that situation. Okay? I said I like to see it. I love to see it. I love to see it. That's why we make this effort. That's why this place exists. This community exists. This channel exists. Chat was off the chain today. I hope, I hope that I hope you can get yourself into a nice, peaceful state. Okay. Don't let it work you up. Okay. But also the chat was good. There was some good stuff happening in the chat as well. So I hope you saw that. Chrissy says no apology necessary. Thank you, Chrissy. Chrissy's Corner. Thank you. Okay. All right, friends. Soul inspired. That's why I don't have a picture on Facebook. Yeah, I understand it, but we have to be really, we have to be really tight on Facebook about things. Okay, friends. Thank you very much for your patience and understanding. Thank you so much for your community. I appreciate you guys. Last night I was like, I think I'm not going to do a live stream today. I'm going to record. I'm going to play something old, do a rerun today. But I miss you and I love being here. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being so wonderful. And thank you, Philly Yvette, for the super chat. And thank you, Foxy Fables, for the super chat. Thank you, Christine Smith, for the super chat. And thank you, Lynn N, for the super chat. Sorry that I missed you in Atlanta. We had a good time at our Atlanta meetup. We'll have to do it again. Atlanta, the city, did not redeem itself, I want to say. But Atlanta, the women, fantastic. Y'all are always good to me. The city did not redeem itself, I want to say, on record, okay? Atlanta, the city, still not my favorite place. I sat on that airplane for 2 hours waiting for that thing to take off. We took off 3 hours late. I'm like, ain't that just like Atlanta? I didn't even like it here, and now I got to stay 3 extra hours. 2 of them on the plane, but I'll be back. And then the Dallas meetup is happening soon, so I'll get to see y'all around. Las Vegas, maybe. I'll be in Las Vegas. Maybe a meetup. I'll be in Las Vegas. Then I go to Puerto Rico, maybe a Puerto Rico meetup. Y'all tell me. You tell me. Okay? But I'll see you guys again. And then I'll see you back here next Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to set the alert, if you want the phone alert when the next live stream happens, text the word YouTube, to this phone number that I'm going to find quickly. Or not. It's right here. Shouldn't it be on this list? Where is it? Oh, here's it. Okay. Text the word YouTube to 888-403-4465 if you would like to get a text reminder before I go live on YouTube. I send out a text reminder 10 minutes before the live stream. So if you're one of those people who's like, I never get to catch you live, this is why, because you're not getting text alerts. Text alert number to get text alerts. Okay, text the word YouTube to get text alerts. Okay? Vietnam meetup is not yet in the group. I'll make it probably, now that I know that closer to the dates, I'll probably make it now. Vietnam meetup is not in the group yet, but it will be. And then the other dates, Dallas meetup is already in the group. So I'll see y'all there who are going. And then Las Vegas, I'll be around what, the 11th to the 20th or something like that. So Las Vegas gang, holla at your girl if you want to do that. And Puerto Rico, December, Christmas time. I'll be in Puerto Rico in Christmas time if you want to do a meetup there. Okay, friends. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. I love you guys. Thank you kindly. Get out. Okay, let's get out. Let's get out. Okay. Let's end on that. Let's get out. Bye.